of other things. So
Yeah, that's cool.
similarities.
What's your rating or your five word review?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
It was really
So how about
liked Anthony Hopkins. That's it. I don't know if I can watch the second season now.
is that a spoiler?
No.
Oh,
Trying to cover
No.
it. I'll get rid of that.
okay.
I'll bleep it out. That's
Okay.
All right, go.
I was in charge of video games, which I think is probably going to be the easiest category for me. I tried out Pokemon Quest. It's a free-to-play, like, Nintendo game. I don't recommend it just because it limits you, and it kind of tries to push you towards paying for the game. But overall, it's actually kind of a interesting, different take on Pokemon, so it's not the worst. It's a free-to-play, like, type of game, so you know it's trying to push towards microtransaction. The other thing I did that took up a lot of my time was Red Bull Conquest, and this is a big fighting game event in which they right now are doing the qualifiers for it, which is the best person from each region in 3 different games makes up the team for that region. So we have a St. Paul team that consists of 3 Midwest Minnesota type players who competed at our St. Paul event, and I competed at that. Played Street Fighter for that. Took 7th out of 21 people in my pool.
Nice.
But
Nice. What a kid.
yeah, tied for 25th overall. Wasn't bad. Could have done a little better. Had a couple things I'd take back. But that's how fighting games work. Yeah, but there was some amazing matches, and we played in Union Station in
Nice.
St. Paul, which
That
is
place
just
nice.
it's beautiful. I'd never been inside it before, and just having this huge fighting game set up inside this like kind of cathedral like shaped area was so cool. It was sick. It was one of my favorite events I've ever been to. But the one game that I am going to talk about that I've been playing a lot of on the side is Monster Hunter World.
I've heard a lot about that.
Same.
Monster Hunter World was an early game that I was kind of just putting to the side. I'm like, I've never played a Monster Hunter. I don't know if I'll try it out or whatnot, and thought I would give it a go. Started it up this last week. Character creation is pretty solid. Has a little limitations. Would like it to be a little bit more choices in like hairstyles and things like that, but overall pretty solid. I would describe this game for anyone who hasn't played it as imagine World of Warcraft mixed with character action. So you basically, instead of like in World of Warcraft where you click on something and you like start like whacking at it and then you press a couple of buttons here and there and cast some spells while you're doing it, and it's just like you're kind of just commanding them to do it. In this game, you're actually in full control of your character. Like, you're controlling his moves, his actions, his combos, where he goes, what he does, different things. For those who do know the game, right now, I started off playing two-handed swords. I like that kind of style. That's quicker. It's a kind of a rogue-like pace to it. A lot of hits, not a lot of damage, but quick and a lot of movement. And basically what you do is the game kind of describes itself. You just hunt down monsters. Like, you're tracking their trails. You try and find them. Some monsters you run into, you're like, oh my god, you're way too tough for me right now. And you run away from them and avoid those monsters. And then you go and hunt the monsters that you can fight. And it's just absolutely gorgeous, this game, too. Like, graphically is brilliant presentation-wise. And that's weird, because Capcom hasn't had a good reputation for some of their graphics. This game looks amazing. Cutscene, gameplay, no matter what, it looks great. It's really gorgeous. Every setting, every scene, every monster is really cool and different. And I don't know how far I am in the game yet. I just fought for the first time. I tried to capture this elder dragon. I forget its name. Missed it, didn't capture it. I think that's supposed to be like end of the first act type of thing. So I don't know. There might be a lot more to this game. I played by myself, but there's a lot that's centered around 4-player. Like, it wants you to be in groups in that same way that World of Warcraft is kind of that way. They want you to be grouped up together and exploring these things as groups and fighting as groups and whatnot. But you can still definitely play solo, and I so far have had no problems with just playing the game with myself, getting through the story mode. That's probably all I will do. I'm enjoying it. I really like it. Only knocks on the game so far, I'd say. Some of the voice acting's a little cheesy, but honestly, I don't care, because that's Capcom, and that kind of adds a little bit of charm to it for me. Cheesy lines or whatever. Like, there's a guy who fell off. He's like this old hunter, and he's like, I'm too old for this. And I'm like, God damn it. It's so overused. Whatever. At the same time, it made me smile and laugh. Like, it's so stupid and cheesy.
The old guys can get away with saying that.
Exactly. I'm too old for this. Yeah.
One of the things that I do know about this game is that you can play as a battle cat. Is that right?
Not as a battle cat, but
Okay.
if you're playing solo, like I am, you get a cat companion.
Aha.
Is a battle cat.
That is my kind of game.
I wasn't prepared. I was prepared to customize my character and, make him look... I usually make him look like how I look, maybe add, like, something unique or something cool to him or whatnot. But I wasn't prepared to customize my cat. I actually had a lot of fun, dude. He's a little cutie. He's so cute.
Do you have a name?
So cute. I called him Swirl.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. He's just a little guy with purple eyes. Just looking at you like, ooh.
I like that you can choose the Scottish fold ears for your cat. It looks so fucking adorable.
There are tons of different... There's almost... Yeah, there's not a ton of customizations for the cats, but there's infinite possibilities for what you can make them. There's kind of bear-like ears, so if you don't like cats, you can even make them kind of look like a little teddy bear or something. But no, I made mine a nice little black and white cat with purple. And then they just had this summer outfit thing that I guess is a special event. And I was like, oh, okay, what's this thing? And they're like, yeah, this makes my cat 5 times stronger putting this Hawaiian shirt on him. Yeah, because I'm just starting out. I'm sure it's not that great otherwise, but I'm like, yeah, that on you.
What class
This
did
looks
you
awesome.
play as?
So now I have a... Yeah, like I said, it was a two-handed class. The classes, it's not really a class, it's more what weapon do you use. And that weapon kind of defines your class. Everyone's the same. It's just what weapon you use that creates your moves. So if I used a giant sword, I would have a different move set that I would have to use, and different things that I would have to do in combos and stuff like that. It's like in the old character actions when you pick up a weapon, your guy would do different styles and whatnot than you normally would, and that's kind of what this is. You just put whatever weapons you're upgrading, that defines what class you are. And I kind of do the roguelike with the two-handed swords, and they're tiny swords that I can just move quickly around and just do a bunch of slices, and it looks super cool, and I like it a lot. Yeah, so Monster Hunter World, definitely recommend it. I'm coming for you, Rathalos. There we go.
Okay, I had to count just to make sure.
Rathalos is 1. Rathalos is 1. It's a
Okay.
big one.
Yeah, I figured.
One word.
Got it.
Who-
Nailed it.
Who
Boom.
is that?
Cut this out. Cut this out. Oh God, I can't remember. Because it's either the flying one or the dinosaur, and now I can't remember. I think it's the flying one.
He doesn't even know.
Oh,
I don't know, man. There's okay. Oh, this is another thing about the game that actually did bring up a point. There's so much shit in this game. Oh my god. Like, when you first start the game, it is overwhelming. Like, holy shit, there's so much to, like, get down. They're like, yeah, you gotta do this thing for this thing, and then there's a customization feature, and then this thing, and there's a new tutorial here, and there's another tutorial about this thing. I'm like, oh my god, I just learned the other thing, kind of. I forgot already. Jeez. It's a lot to learn, but when you start to get the hang of it, it kind of starts to all come together and make sense. It's not too bad once you push past it and just say, I can't even begin to try and focus on that. I'm just going to focus on this thing for right now.
So as a veteran gamer such as yourself, would you say this is something that average or veteran gamers can just jump right in and they'd get the mechanics down pretty easily?
Yes, I would say average, veteran, even casual people can get it down. Casual gamers, maybe average gamers, no, all gamers, you'll be overwhelmed. You'll be overwhelmed by how much you have to learn, but it's pretty easy to get down once you get it down. And there'll be different styles, and worst comes to worst, if you want to play with other people, I'm sure they'll teach you some stuff.
Good to know. For reference, Rathlos is a wyvern, kind
of
reddish
okay,
in
he's
color.
the flying one.
Yep.
Got it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Good. I did say the right one then, because I haven't faced him yet. I'm coming for you. And Rendon,
lifestyle.
Yep.
It sounds like you got a little dirty this weekend.
Yeah, a little bit dirty. And to recap, the primary reason why we had to skip back was because yesterday I had attended the 2018 Tough Mudder here in the Twin Cities. So, and they do not hold anything back when they call it the Tough Mudder. It is absolutely grueling. So to start out with, you enter the arena, I would like to call it, this big old 10-mile by 10-mile obstacle course. You get all signed up. You get your bag stashed in a secure area. You get your wristbands. You get a little QR code actually stamped onto your chest. And it's basically for reference, so throughout the course when they're taking pictures and photos, you've got a number on there, and later on when they post the pictures and the video online, if you type in your number, you'll be able to find those pictures of you somewhere. Now, the one thing I will say is when I stamped that on my chest, I had the QR code and I had my number, that lasted about 10 minutes into the course. It was within 10 minutes, the first 10 minutes of the course, it's basically covered in mud. So going into it, I had no idea what to expect. I thought, okay, I'll wear some bad shoes. I'll just, I'll tighten up the laces really good. I'll just put on some shorts, put on my shirt. And one decision I made that kind of was at the last second that I just absolutely am so grateful for remember doing is wearing spandex. It was so necessary. It's insane. So it's a couple of the people that we saw there, a lot of the people, beautiful people everywhere you looked. A lot of the guys had their shirts off, and for good reason too. And one guy actually out there was in nothing but a Speedo.
All right.
And when we were at the starting,
was he hot?
He was gorgeous,
like a Greek god.
Yeah,
great cheese on his abs.
Some sort of model somewhere, I imagine, but. No, he was in a Speedo, and when we were at the starting line, I was like, why is that guy in a Speedo? What is he doing?
He's done this shit before.
The more we look around, there was a couple people, they were in matching tutus, rainbow and American flag tutus that they were wearing. But no, these guys knew what they were doing. The Speedo guy, probably the smartest decision to be made at that course. And the reason why I say that is because you enter probably about 4 or 5 of the obstacles on the course. Your entire body is in a pit of mud. Do not expect to not get dirty at all. Maybe if you get your feet wet, maybe you get, stuff up to your knees. No, it is your entire body. You get fully submerged in parts of the course. Now, a lot of them was you had to climb over hills. So you'd climb over this hill, you'd plop down into a pitfall, where it's basically just a big puddle of mud up to your knees, up to your waist, and then you'd come to another hill. Do the same thing. Go over that hill, into another puddle of mud. And you would do that 4 or 5 times in a row. And you figure a lot of these events on the course, you could not do by yourself. You had to get assistance from either if you went and attended the event as a team, or just some random stranger you've never met. It is imperative that you get assistance from other people. Now, we had went as a group of 7. We had a full team of 7. We were called the Mud Dancers. The team name was much longer than that, but throughout